Hi there, welcome to a book-related video. It's been a long time since I've talked about books and any recent news about such subject, and I grew up loving books, adoring it. The way someone can just create a whole fictional world and make up characters that I might love or hate and take a toll on my emotions fascinates me. Anyway, let's move on because we all have heard about the story of a fellow book lover. Now let's move on to my May haul, May book haul, and May TBR pile. I didn't expect to be buying books like for a really long time because I have a huge amount of TBR piles just sitting on my shelf, and I told myself, you can't buy any books here until you finished reading all the books you haven't read. Your TBR pile. Just don't buy anything. No. And I've been good. I followed that for months. But joke's on me, because I watched one John Fish video about him reading all the books that Joe from You, the series, recommended. And now I was so pumped after that, and I craved reading. I want books, specifically the classics. And you know what I did? I bought some classics. To be honest with you, I knew I was craving for classics and reading, but when I came into that bookstore, when I went inside, I literally had no idea what I was gonna buy, or if I was gonna buy anything, or maybe I was just scamming, you know? And then hours of looking through the shelves in the bookstore, I ended up with some classics. So let's start with the one and only genius lad, mysterious lad, Edgar Allan Poe. I bought A Modern Detective and The Telltale Heart. I haven't read any classics other than Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar. Surely don't know anything about other authors and anything classic related. The only thing I know about Edgar Allan Poe is that he's very known for his gothic horror type of novels and or poetry, and the detective story. So far, other than his mysterious death, that's all I know. That's literally all I know. Okay, I'm not just gonna show you the books, I'm gonna give a little chit chat about them and what they're all about. I'm gonna try my best because you know she's terrible at describing or explaining things. Okay, let's start with The Modern Detective by Edgar Allan Poe, because this is where you'll find the very first fictional detective. How do you say his name? Oh no. Oh, okay, press the wrong button. Do not do that. Google. How do I exit? Oh my gosh. Not me, struggling. 𝙬𝙗𝙪. No! Okay, Mr. August, because that seems... Mr. August is the first ever fictional detective, and it's written by Edgar Allan Poe. I did not know that until I looked up this on Goodreads. I'm so excited. Who doesn't want to read about that? So Mr. August here investigates the death of a young girl and the murder that's happening in the Rue Morgue. I'm really butchering all the pronunciations right now. And that, ladies and gents, is all I know. Literally all I know. Next, we have The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. The only thing I know about this, it's like short stories in it, or a bunch of short stories, or it's a short story. Correct me below if I'm wrong. Listen to this. It's a psychological thriller that has more questions than the answers. Totally not scripted. Totally didn't steal that from Goodreads. That line, no, I made that on my own. It's written here that it is a man who confronts himself and an unknown listener with his desire to murder an old man. Is it his father? Is the man mad? Is he in jail or an institution? Oh, okay. I literally picked it up because I was like, oh, the title. That's cute. I'm gonna pick it up. I am now very thrilled. I want to know more. Okay, next up, ladies and gents, drum roll please. Wait. Emily Brontë. Is that how you say her name, though? Is that how you say her name?
Emily Brontë.
Is it really Emily Brontë? Not Emily Brontë? We got that cleared up. So, if you don't know who Emily Brontë is, she is the author of Wuthering Heights. You can't see the title, but okay. She's the author of Wuthering Heights. Her sister is actually known as well. Her sister, Charlotte Brontë, butchering the name, is the author of
𝙬𝙗𝙪.
I know Withering Heights. I've stumbled upon it. I've heard about it. It's a classic, but never in my mind I've thought like of buying it and actually reading into it. So thank you, Joe from You and John Fisher, and your collaboration. So as I mentioned, I watched a John Fish video about it. There was a bunch of books there in John Fish video. The reason why I picked this up, because the way he explained a character in the synopsis of the book, Chef's Kiss, I was like, ooh, I'm interested, I'm curious, I want to read it now. The character he was explaining about was Heathcliff, one of the people who've read Wuthering Heights and are like, yeah. I know nothing. So I someday hope to get to know the hype about it. Other than Wuthering Heights, I bought her poetry book, or it's like a collection of one of her best poetries. The night is darkening around me. So if you're like me and don't know anything about Wuthering Heights, then let's read the summary, please. I'm just gonna read the back because I really don't want to know anything. Is Mr. Clifford the Red Dog. Is Mr. Heathcliff a man? If so, is he mad? And if not, is he a devil?
Yorkshire.
Yeah, Yorkshire. Sat on the bleak moors of Yorkshire, Lockwood is forced to seek shelter at Wuthering Heights, the home of his new landlord, Heathcliff. The intense and wildly passionate Heathcliff tells the story of his life, his all-consuming love for Catherine Earnshaw, and the doomed outcome of that relationship, leading to his revenge. Poetic, complex, and grand in its scope, Emily Bronte's masterpiece is considered one of the most unique Gothic novels of its time. Apparently, when you read the book, there's like two separate communities. It's either you're gonna hate the characters, you're gonna get so annoyed with them that you just don't want to finish it, or you do end up finishing it, but nah. Or you're absolutely gonna love it. You're gonna be like, yeah, hyped about this. And I'm excited where I'm gonna land. We have The Night is Darkening Around Me by Emily Brontë as well. I bought this because the title caught my eye. That's basically it. It says here, Bronte's most passionate, powerful poems on death, nature's beauty, and the passage of time. It's very vague. Also in Goodreads, that's what I could find, like extraordinary poetry by Emily Brontë. So I'm guessing it's a bunch of poetry, like a collection of it, like a compilation. Last but not least is Oscar Wilde, The Picture of Dorian Grey. Once again, I know nothing of this book. Yes, I did just sniff it. I picked this up because, actually, okay, first off, I haven't heard anything about Oscar Wilde, but I know of him, but I just don't know anything. You know, I already explained this to you. I picked it up because I got so intrigued by the summary in the back. I mean, come on, listen. How sad it is. I shall grow old and horrible and dreadful, but this picture will remain always young, if it were only the other way. And also, it says here, Oscar Wilde's story of a fashionable young man who sells his soul for eternal youth and beauty is the author's most popular work. And I just want to know what's going on. Two things I know about and found out about is that one, it caused a huge scandal, or somewhat of a scandal, in the 1890s when Oscar Wilde wrote it. Second, I have a very unattractive edition because, once again, I am a broke child living person. I just want to get what I could afford. So, the final segment of this video is a TBR pile, what I'm going to be reading this month of May. We're currently in May. Where did the time go? It was just January. Okay, so before existential crisis air comes in, I'm going to be reading 3 books for the month of May. Only 3 books because I became a slow reader. I used to be such an avid reader. I would read like 2 or 3 books in one sitting. In a week, I would read 5 books. But now I'm just like, I was in a reading slump, okay? I was in a reading slump. And I'm slowly coming back, which I'm so glad about. So yeah, 3 books for the month of May, maybe 4 if I'm a little wild and spontaneous. So let's start with 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson. I actually am almost done with it. I'm on page 259. That's like 80%, 85% done, I think. It's like 13 Reasons Why, except it's in a letter envelope form. I'm just kidding, it's not. In whatever aspects, it's not. The only thing similar about it is that there's death involved. And no, it's not a spoiler because it is in the summary. 13 Little Blue Envelopes is a young adult contemporary novel. It's a light and easy novel to read. I just got out of a reading slump, so this really helped it. So the main character is named Virginia, or Ginny. She suddenly, one day, received a letter from her Aunt Peg. There were specific instructions for Ginny to follow, and there was also $1,000. You know, casually. So the instructions were for Ginny to buy a plane ticket to a country she's never stepped in, and she has to be on her own and pack lightly. What shocks Ginny is that, why is this happening? Aunt Peg has died 3 months ago. everything in Ginny's life will change, and that summer will change her and change your perspective. Next up, I'm reading Emily Bronte's The Night is Darkening Around Me. I actually started reading it. I'm on page 16. That's the 8th poetry in here. So far, I am enjoying it. The only thing is that when you're reading it, you really have to be at a quiet, focused state of mind. You can't just easily like reading it and then boom, and you're like, wow, I get it. No, you have to slowly understand each stanza. And I like that because sometimes when I'm reading poetry books, you know, has big words and olden type of words in it, I get overwhelmed to the point like, nah, okay, no, I'm not reading that. But this one, I'm really trying. So yeah, I can't wait to read more. Also, I'll be reading Wuthering Heights because I can't wait to know more about Wuthering Heights. And if I do finish those early, I might start on, not this one, Modern Detective by Edgar Allan Poe. That's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. All the books mentioned in this video will be linked down below if you guys want to check it out. Also, if you have recommendations for me book-wise, then please do comment down below. If you also have video recommendations or video ideas for me to try out and, you know, enhance my content, please comment down below also. Or if you just want to chit-chat and say, hey, what's up? I'm so happy to talk down below as well. I love reading through the comments and see people watching and interacting. It really warms my heart knowing people are watching, doing what I love. So see you guys in next week's video, and keep doing what you're doing. Always. Itchy eye. Okay, so not me moving my mic from here to here to here. I'm new to this. My mic's tiny. It has no stand at all.
Oh no, he's a new fool. He thinks he knows what you've been through. Go home, leave her alone, leave her alone. Even in our darkest hours, I still start.